This is the calm before Westminster's weekend storm. On Saturday, MPs will face off in Parliament in a special session. They have just one day of debate to accept or reject Boris Johnson's new Brexit deal and decide the future of this country. If they say no, the Prime Minister must ask the EU for a Brexit extension, something he's desperate to avoid.
I hope that people will think, well, you know, what's the balance? What do our constituents really want? Do they want us to keep going with this argument? Do they want more division and delay? Or do they want us to focus on putting more money into the NHS, which is what we're doing, expanding provision for lifting up provision for education and putting more police out on the streets, tackling knife crime?
Those against the deal are hoping opposition parties can hold the line.
We all know it's going to be tight, and the only way Boris Johnson can deliver his Brexit is if Labour MPs break ranks and vote for a Tory Brexit.
With Northern Ireland's DUP ruling themselves out, there are three key groups Boris Johnson must win over for the needed 320 votes.
There are a group of Labour MPs mostly in Leave voting seats who want to see Brexit done but aren't sure whether or not they're going to back this particular deal. There's the former Conservative MPs who were thrown out of the party for opposing no deal. Most of those voted for Theresa May's deal, but might take issue with a slightly harder Brexit that's being proposed by Boris Johnson. And then there's the 28 Tory Brexiteers who voted 3 times against May's deal.
It's a big ask, and a cross-party group of Brexit moderates still aren't convinced that no deal is off the table. Led by the former Conservative MP Oliver Letwin, they're trying to amend Saturday's vote so that any approval for the Prime Minister's deal would be deferred until the legislation to enact it had been passed. So Brexit would be delayed until the end of January so that MPs could get all the complicated work done and not crash out on October the 31st because they'd run out of time. But there's no guarantee that EU leaders would say yes to an extension.
I think we should stick to the October 31st deadline. I don't indulge in political fiction, so I'm not going to imagine a scenario where the British Parliament votes this way or that way. But I don't think that any new extension should be agreed to.
Despite what Macron says, it's hard to see EU leaders denying an extension and risk being blamed for a no-deal crash-out. But yet again, the UK is pushing Brexit right down to the wire. Rory, Challands, Al Jazeera, London.